Hi, I'm Dr. Jason J. Campbell, and I want to thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. This video marks the reinstallment of my Nietzsche Will to Power series. As you guys know, I'm using the Walter Kaufman translation of Nietzsche's Will to Power. It's an important day in an important moment in the video series for me, because conceptually you have to ask yourself, right? You, not me. I mean, I literally mean you, right? You have to ask yourself, why are you still sticking around watching this series? Like, we're 40 hours into the series, and a lot of you, I think about 100 of you, have gone from video 1 to this video, right? That's an amazing commitment, right? That's a profoundly amazing commitment. Me doing the video series is me doing the video series. I'm going to do this whether somebody watches this or nobody watches this. So it's not so much about me. It's about your commitment to this series, right? And your commitment to this arduous process. And I can't tell you that we're anywhere near even the half point, right? We need to get to at least note 500 to reach halfway, and we're at about note 300. So we got a ways to go. I don't know why it is that you are watching. I didn't think this many of you would be watching. I had no idea that this many of you would be watching. I thought I'd get about 30-something people, maybe 40 people to follow the series. But I'm glad that you guys have embraced the series to the extent that you have. And for that, I've realized in preparing the notes, and I have more notes that I'm going to prepare over the coming days before I shift gears into eschatology for a bit. This is to put, several consecutive hours, new hours of Nietzsche out there, shift to eschatology, and then I'll be oscillating between Nietzsche and eschatology for like a month or so, just to fatten up both of those lecture series, because I want Nietzsche to be substantial, and I'm about to hit my goal of 50 hours, but then I'm going to run right past that. But it's amazing to me that so many of you are still working through this narrative, working through this text, working through my lecture series, taking notes. I am more than gratified that this is useful to somebody in the world. And I'm even more gratified, I'm elated that it's useful to the number of people that it is. So today I officially want to begin, and I want to just jump right in, right? You guys know me now, so we're gonna go, and I'm gonna go as deep as I can possibly let my mind go. I'm really gonna zone out for the next several hours. I'm just gonna completely black out on this Nietzsche and let myself see where it takes it. I have notes and everything, but a lot of this is spontaneous. The vast majority of this is spontaneous, so I'm really gonna black out and try and give you everything that I got. So thank you for watching my videos. I'm Dr. Jason J. Campbell, and this is section 10.1 of Nietzsche's Will to Power. My notes, you know how to access them. Click the link in the description box. We're on page 57 of the notes, and with that, let's begin. Alright, section 10.1. So this is the beginning of Book 2, Part 5, The Moral Ideal, Critique of Ideals. In this section 10.1, we'll be covering notes 330 through 336. So, desirability and condemnation. Desirability and condemnation. Desirability and condemnation. The act of desiring is I typed this wrong, right? What a way to start, right? The act of desiring is an off-looking beyond our past existence. It is to varying degrees the act of condemning existence. I'll have to reword this in the final, and I'll put notes here. The act of desiring is an off-looking beyond our past existence. It is, to varying degrees, the act of condemning existence. I'll reword that. So by the time you're watching this, it'll probably we'll have reworded this. Basically, the idea is the second sentence, right? It is, to varying degrees, the act of condemning existence. The act of desiring, as we've seen, right? The idea of positing this highest moral value with which all of us attempt to find some solace, to find some refuge in this sanctity, only then to find out that that sanctity collapses in on itself, right? The act of desiring this thing, right, whatever that thing might be, in terms of the discussion now, we're talking about morality, is to varying degrees the act of condemning existence. We look beyond the thing in front of us for something that's not there yet, right? So as the perceiver here, this is us, the perceiver. The perceiver is looking beyond, right? And what is he or she looking beyond? They're looking beyond existence. They're looking beyond what is, right? For what? What should be. Right? And this what should be becomes the goal, right? This becomes the focus of our desire. Right? This becomes the focus of our desire. But in order to localize the focus of our desire, we have to look beyond what is, right? We overlook the now. We overlook the present. We overlook our embodiment. We overlook our mortality. We overlook our abilities and our inabilities. There's certain things I'll never be able to do in my life and with my life. I'm never going to be able to beat Michael Phelps in the pool, right? I'm never going to be able to hit a ball as hard as Serena, right? I'm never going to be able to do many of the things that other individuals can do. But it's not that I look beyond that, right? Nietzsche finds a sense of jaded detachment in the population from their connection to this existence, because it's always about the beyond, right? Number one, very bottom of page 57, quote, "It is precisely our concept of perfection which is never satisfied," right? That's note 331, right? It is precisely the idea that we are attempting to attain perfection that is never satisfied. The notion of perfection itself is problematic, right? I'm not going to go into math, right? But you have the idea of perfection, and here we are as the perceiver again, looking beyond our existence, because obviously this is imperfect, and we rather look over the imperfection for perfection. But the idea is that you can never really approach perfection. You never really approach perfection. Right? It's infinitesimally small, the gap between our existence and our desire for perfection. Right? We tell ourselves that we're right there. We're on the verge of perfection. We're about to broach perfection. If these few obstructions and impediments weren't in the way, perfection would be ours to have. And that's the greatest lie ever. Right? You guys know I don't need to do a lot of the filler in the background for the discussion on Nietzsche, because you know Nietzsche's resentment of all of these mundane, base concepts, right, that have been elevated to the point of transcendence, right? The idea that we can actually attain a state of affairs in which perfection has been realized is problematic, right? We cannot satisfy that desire, because insofar as we attain a moment, a respite of a bit of stability, it immediately evaporates. There is no satisfaction. In my Philosophy of Hip Hop series, I think it was the second video I did, titled Grinding,